Off and on the clock, post-Thanksgiving, me and the Badge Bros are here to walk through the Week 13 main slate. We might even cook up, though, a little pick'em for those of you guys watching live here as we are going head-to-head with the Black Friday game. But as usual, we'll have our gems at each position, our scroll down targets, kind of a macro overview, and then we will talk some small field strategy. No more dog bowl. We can still talk some goal line stand though. And then we'll wrap it up by spicing it up, slopping it up with some pick'ems. You know the drill. It's Pete with the Badge Bros, off and on the clock. Let's roll. All right, guys, we are here. John's country already celebrated their Thanksgiving, so I will ask Nez, how was your American Thanksgiving yesterday?
It was good. Thank you for asking about my American Thanksgiving. It was a nice low-key day. I went over to my in-laws, ate a lot, had a couple drinks, lost some money on the Thanksgiving slate, a tradition like none other.
Beautiful. Yeah, I was telling John right before we went on, I knew I wasn't going to make it up for the entire game, but when I went to bed, I was winning a lot of money on Underdog, and when I woke up, I was winning no money on Underdog.
You got Johnny Smith, I think.
Yeah. So apparently it was our guy, Mark Zorner, I saw had an awesome day. Did anyone else around the kingdom have a good Thanksgiving? I didn't see too many other.
Chip has been winning everything lately.
That doesn't count anymore.
No, it doesn't. It actually doesn't. But that was it.
Yeah, I feel like I've also caught Chip doing a little bit of like who runs worse, or I'm gonna. It's just like Chip. I don't think Chip gets to tilt anymore, right? Like he's now entered post tilt.
100%.
Yeah, you have to be. You've entered your Zen era, where you just quietly make money and you don't get to tilt anymore. All right.
Yeah.
John, how did your Thanksgiving stuff go as far as action on Underdog?
Okay, not great. I jammed some of the afternoon stuff for the 2-game slate there. I played 5 of the 100s and whatever, and then maybe another 25 in the contest that Chip ended up winning. And then I had 40 in the main slate there. And yeah, I got Janu as well because I was Laporto over Janu. But yeah, I can't really I didn't lose too much, so I don't feel like bad. I liked where I was at with it.
Yeah, big shout out to Hope and Numi and Underdog, though. As usual, the contest just so much fun. The amount of things in the lobby. I worked very hard to max the rake free. By work hard, I mean I was having to draft a lot in a short amount of time because that contest was filling so slowly. And then I was just like the Jimmy Butler like exhausted meme where I was like, Tiny Turkey 2, Turkey 3. That's on you guys. I was able to max all the side contests though. So shout out to those guys. It's always now like a highlight. I feel like of the BR season is all those Thanksgiving contests.
It's one of the best weeks, period. I mean, throw away the fact that it's rake free. It's one of the best weeks on the platform, period, just because of the variety of contests. And then you still get a main slate on top of it here with all the side contests as well. So,
and I really like that there's no ADP too. I think that's a really fun wrinkle to those contests too. That really changes up the dynamics. So yeah, hats off to them. As always, just keeping us so entertained at all times.
Yeah, good stuff. Unfortunately, the trickle down effect of that is smaller contests for the main slate. But it is what it is. You know, we can't have our cake and eat it too. So I understand the dynamic, but that does not mean that we are not going to spend all kinds of time thinking, talking, and drafting this slate. We still have 15K up top in the Battle Royale. Some other quirks this week. The Wildcat, someone pointed out to me, is a 50 max this week instead of 150 max. Yeah, I didn't catch that. We do have the goal line stand back with no dog bowl. So that's fun. 4,500 entrants, 4K up top. Nice prize pool there if you're still looking to scratch that 12-person itch. And then the usual side contests, dive, to bomb, and all that good stuff, as well as our Badge Bros Brawl in Deposit Kingdom. But I was thinking, guys, before we get into the full-on slate overview, we do have an NFL game kicking off here in about 20 minutes. I feel like we got to have a little companion OOTC meets Shipcast, pick 'em sweat here. You guys want to cook something up?
Absolutely.
I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Speaking of which, we got 10 minutes left for this leftovers drafts. They're about 87%. So still action for that there.
Yeah.
Good shout out here. I'm just like 150.
You wouldn't dare. Those are tricky. There's a lot of things up in the air in those slates. So good luck to those playing that, because those are tough. I tried to set ranks. I was like, no thanks. This is tough.
I saw those this morning, and like, again, after get my ass handed to me yesterday with all these similarly named contests and seeing the little fucking bowl of mashed potatoes, I was like visibly angry when I saw it. I was like, throw me over to the main slate, get that off my screen.
The bowl of cookie dough. Yeah.
Exactly.
The bowl of cookie dough. Nice.
I love it.
Nice. I did the 3 big leftovers this morning there. I don't know. I think it was interesting decision with the quarterbacks there. Like, would you guys in Josh Allen at 1?
I didn't want to think about it, dude. To be honest, I took one look at it and I'm like, I don't have the capacity for this. Like, unfortunately, I can't. It was too much of a hassle.
I mean, there was that decision, and then the Vegas backfield and the Kansas City backfield. Like, I don't know what to expect from Pacheco tonight, or today, 5 minutes from now.
Yeah, I have a few angles I like. I built a pick on my stream earlier. I'm curious though, Nez, John, you guys got the unabated screener up. Is there any combo of what the math or you guys like in this game?
I did a show with Davis earlier, and I didn't like. I was with him on this because we were jamming. He liked the Kareem Hunt hires. They just came out and said Pacheco's full go. Like that rushing yards keeps going lower and lower. So we did that. I didn't love it, but I do like Vegas stuff. On the receiving end though.
Yes, that's where I was gravitating to. The Chiefs have been a big pass funnel, and you beat them over the middle, which is the strength of the Raiders passing game. It's Jacoby and Brock Bowers in the middle of the field. My favorite thing kind of associated with it, and they pulled my super slide on it, but it's Aiden O'Connell, like completions. They had one in here. Oh, they put it back. They did put it back at 29.5. This was down for a while at a big slide, or you can play the more conservative slide. But my thought is, like, if they have success, it's not going to be like deep shots down the field. Like, that's not really their game. And my kind of analogy for it or comp is kind of that Cooper Rush game we got against the Texans, where the volume gets out of control. So I kind of like stuff with like Aiden O'Connell, Brock, or Jacoby, and kind of jamming receptions and higher on completions for O'Connell.
Okay.
I like where that's at.
I'm looking at the unabated stuff right now. Unabated agrees with Nez, the Kareem Hunt. Their biggest edge right now is lowers on the rushing yards for Kareem Hunt. They like hires on Kareem Hunt receiving yards. They like hires on passing yards for AOC. Nothing like crazy popping out showing a big edge right now outside of the lower on the Kareem Hunt rushing stuff. I liked the Amir Abdullah receiving yards. That's like purely narrative based and trailing, and they have the same bodies active more or less as last week, and he played 90% of snaps. Yeah, that one is it stings seeing this one. He was responsible for us missing like 100xer the other day when he was 2 yards receiving short. But yes, I like that call. If you said unabated, because I did the completions thing, if we want to do one where we play it more through yards instead of completions with maybe Abdullah, AOC, and then one of like Brock or Jacoby, that could be fun.
They like an extra like 10 yards on AOC. So if you want to do 229.
Yeah.
I'd be down with that.
So this is just a typical like 5.7 X here. Why is this not a full set? Oh, because of the correlation with Abdullah.
Yeah.
Do we want to get a slide or a touchdown in here to get some odds that get the juices flowing?
I mean,
what kind of question is that, Pete?
I hope someone doesn't audit what my my pick'em graveyard from yesterday looks like. I mean, it is support would be locking me out of my
What do you think for a touchdown here? It's kind of crazy to me that Hopkins has a higher multiplier than Worthy for a touchdown. 166, 158 for Worthy. Like I would take Hopkins. I think so. I mean, I don't know, man. I just keep playing Hopkins every week, but
the only other stuff that I was messing with too is it's a really good matchup for the Chiefs tight ends. And we used to say it's a really good matchup for Kelsey, but now you have to say Chiefs tight ends. Yeah. So stuff with either Kelsey or Gray touchdown, I liked. And then even like the Gray, like a little slider on receptions. Like even just taking him to 4 receptions is a 1.84. And he's cleared this number twice in back-to-back weeks. Now gets another good matchup. That one like really kind of stood out to me.
Yeah, do we think this role is for real? I kind of like I see Noah Gray play, and I don't think that it's like an aberration. It's just like, do we think he's going to get there today? Yeah, I mean, why not?
I was skeptical too, but then when I was reading and looking at it, it's like the Raiders, they give up the second biggest fantasy boost to opposing tight ends. Like they are. So then I'm like, all of this coming together, and then you don't even have to bink the touchdown. You could, I guess what do you like more? 4 receptions for 1.84 or the tutty for 2.5?
Problem.
Sorry. Yeah, my fault. I think I prefer the receptions if you're giving me the option between the two.
Yeah.
I think receiving yards also a potential boost. Like, what do you like more, 40 yards or 4 receptions? Bigger boost on receptions. If it helps.
I think the receptions, he's done that in back-to-back weeks.
Okay.
I think I lean that. I guess the final question, do you guys want to slide the Abdullah at all, or do we like that at 21.5?
I'm good with the 21.5, unless we can get like a really nice price.
I don't really love that price for an extra 8 yards.
Nope.
All right.
The other one that I would consider tossing in
Yeah.
is lower Justin Watson anything.
Opposite Gray. I like that correlation.
Because they're also the healthiest this wide receiver core has been in a while. So
you want to do receptions? Like, do we think he catches the ball twice? Because if he catches it once, it could be for 16.
Yeah,
but is he gonna catch the ball twice?
I don't know. When's the last time he caught the ball twice?
That gets us up to a 31x there. That seems like a good group there. I love the negative correlation between Gray and Watson.
Yeah. I agree.
Sorry. Did we? Yeah. So we're going to go Hunt lower, Abdullah, AOC, and then Gray, Justin Watson. We like this.
This looks real clean.
It's real clean.
It looks clean with some of the grossest names of all time you could put in one pick'em together.
Yeah.
We're fading some of them.
Like we didn't play Hopkins, Mahomes, Kelsey, none of this good shit. Bowers, no. Give us these dust
John,
balls.
we finally get to fade Kareem Hunt for you, buddy.
I love it. Oh,
this is what you wanted all along.
It's only 4 weeks too late.
All right. There's your companion sweat that we cooked up for you. But the rule is we still have to be on your primary screen, and the game is on the secondary screen on mute. That's the rule here. All right, let's dive into this slate. All of us are slightly behind. I assume you guys will cut us some slack for that, although I've been catching up quickly. I did a stream for YouTube members earlier as kind of a replacement for the Deposit Kingdom video, since I didn't have time to put together a properly produced video this week. But what is jumping out to you guys on this main slate? I will just say off the top, like, I had a lot of fun going through the scrolls. I think there's like really strong options at quarterback this week for scrolls. Probably like the best quarterback scroll week I've seen as I was going through it. Tight end is pretty thin. And then running back, wide receiver, about as good as usual. So what jumped out to you guys here?
The exact same thing. I mean, I like word for word, I would have said the exact same thing. I don't know. Going back to the Anthony Richardson was like the first one that jumped out to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If he wasn't on the cover last week, I was going to put him on the cover again. and then the other one was Breece Hall's ADP and the Q tag associated with him, and the swappability to get to Braylon Allen or to get to an undrafted Aaron Jones or something, even if he can't go. So that was one. Those were the two angles that jumped out for me in my first 5 runs or so.
And we did just get the tweet like a minute ago. Breece Hall says he's good to go for week 13. So
okay, so he's gonna push up now and be like RB7 or yeah, he might just stay in and around there.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a minute for him to catch up. Jets look like crap. Seattle's games have not been as exciting as we have been hoping for. I think people are just going to like let him stay down there, especially because look at the names ahead of him, man. I mean, Chase Brown just touched the ball 27 times in a 48.5 point total. Bucky Irving, I mean, I can't wait to click him. Nobody can wait to click him. It's going to be hard for him to push up, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think so too. And the other kind of, to Nez's point about the sentiment index, you go and see where Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams ADP is. Like, no one wants anything to do with this Jets team. Like, everyone's just, I think I definitely, like, you never want to make hard and fast rules, but it feels like one Jet, min one Jet, like one of those guys at these prices, I think are going to have a really big game.
That's spicy and I respect it.
I mean, it's true, right? I mean, like two weeks ago, last week, we like couldn't wait to play. I mean, I myself included, could not wait to play a game in the Seattle environment. Now we get one, and like, and everyone's like, nah, actually, like these games never shoot out anymore. Didn't you just see last week? Like, it just is it's a really good buy low. I agree.
Yeah, and maybe my overall exposures won't reflect 100% Jets and lineups, but more just I think with the prices, and they are just going to be really strong scrolls where you're getting an ownership discount and you're getting a highly projected player in a good matchup. What else are you guys seeing with this slate here? Maybe some of the stuff up top. Are we Barkley 101 in one of the toughest matchups?
I think so. I mean, dude, the slate is just super dense. Like the first 2-3 rounds are just loaded with talent and like first round best ball picks. Dude, I don't know how you can fade Saquon, man. I mean, I'm done. I am done fading Saquon Barkley. I don't think it matters who he's up against. You just play the dude. You just play him. This game looks unbelievable. It looks like it's going to be so much fun. I think the Eagles are going to be able to have success in the air. And I mean, yeah, the Ravens are tough on the ground, but like, man, it's Saquon Barkley and the Eagles, man. Right now, I just don't think there's a matchup that I can care too much about that I don't want Saquon.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think the biggest bull case for Saquon is the environment around him too, in terms of ADP targets, where it's like you can poke holes in everyone in the first like 7 to 8 picks. So why not just take your 101 when you get your 101, because you're going to get fallers on the other ones. Because like, I mean, you could poke holes in the mix and stuff after last week, the JPJ matchup with Pittsburgh there, you can poke holes in, yada, yada, right? You go down the list. So I'm just taking Saquon because he's ADP 1. I'm not in love with like the spot, obviously.
I think I agree completely. Is like, I think it's way more of a conversation of who the 102 is, because I think you can make lots of claims for that. But I think we just treat Barkley like, to compare it to, was it last week? The CMC 101 and HN 102, where I wanted to make a big stand on HN as my 101 over CMC. Like, I don't think we have the 102 where you can make that stand over Barkley. And so I think you just take your Barkley with your 101 shares. And then if you want to shuffle up too, like, I don't think Mixon is the locked in loaded 2 on this slate at all. So I think it's fair game after that though, to do whatever you want.
I think the biggest question mark is this Nico, Chase, Puka. Like, what are you guys doing with wide receiver 1? AJ Brown is interesting because, we've talked about pass funnel for Baltimore for so long there, but I think we're going to get Devonta Smith back. We got another limited practice today, so makes it look a little less enticing there. Yeah, I mean, you could spin zone this any which way for me, like Jamar being the explosive play guy and the pass rate over expectation stuff. Nico gets a game environment boost in theory with Trevor Lawrence coming back now. What do you guys like here?
I think Nico for me is the 101.
Okay.
Like, very, very much locked
over Saquon, or 101 receiver.
My fault. Wide receiver 1. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Wide receiver 1 for sure for me. This game for Chase and the Bengals just moving forward is like every game is do or die for the Bengals. Like, they're a good team. They're a good team, but like they like basically cannot lose another game if they want to make the playoffs. And they have hopes of making the playoffs. They're favored in this game against Pittsburgh at home. Like I said, 48.5 total. I mean, if you care about weather, it's going to be freezing cold in Cincy, like literally freezing cold. But we know better, right? Like we're not supposed to care about that. It doesn't actually affect the games. But I mean, there's people that are gonna care about it. But I like the matchup for Nico better. I just think Nico's just an alpha, obviously. And Chase has T. Higgins, and they're separated by 7 yards in pick'ems right now. Like T. Higgins has been awesome this season. And when he's on the field, I just think it kind of hurts Chase's ceiling a little bit. I would probably take AJ Brown over Jamar Chase, hand up.
Yeah, I think the thing about, and I'm always have this fresh on the mind after talking about these games with JM, but like looking at these guys, like Nico and Puka are the two that I think get there in basically any game environment, where I think they're just such big parts of the offense. The targets are going to be there. Whereas Chase and Brown, I think to win you the slate, then you want more pieces with that game. You either want them stacked up with your quarterback, you want their game environments going, not saying you're forcing a bring back with them, but just saying like, I'm okay with one off Nico, one off Puka, where it's like, man, AJ Brown, I really want Hurts. I want another piece. Jamar, I really want Burrow. I want another piece, because those guys, their targets can be lower. And you want the game going nuts if they're going for 30 or whatever.
I think the field kind of agrees with you, Pete. There, I did 10 of these this morning, and I got a couple AJ Brown plus Hurts, with Hurts in the 3rd round falling back to you, because people feel similarly, where it's like, I'll just get my exposure when I have them stacked. So does that change your guys' perception in any regard in terms of like combo ownership, or it just doesn't matter?
I guess when I say like need the game environment too, like it more would make me be like, okay, I miss out on Hurts. Maybe I grab Zay. Maybe I grab a Ravens tight end, where I just like want to bet on more than one piece as opposed to one off AJ Brown, getting me home.
Yeah, no, that checks out for sure.
Yeah, I'm cool with AJ Brown any which way, to be honest, but yeah.
Yeah. And I think that I always have like redacted brain coming over from that show with JM, but those kind of things are a much bigger deal on DraftKings with the 9 lineup spots. We know on Underdog, where just hitting the one-off stuff, the margins are so thin for these guys separating from each other that it's not near as big of a deal. I think that's just like in the perfect world, you want AJ Brown in those game environments. What are you guys doing at tight end? Taysom Hill, no longer a gem. Now the secret is out. And in fact, he is going in the top 20 picks. Trey McBride up here as well, and then pretty wide open. Are you guys clicking Taysom Hill at ADP this week?
I mean, I can't quit it. Once everyone just figures out the top secret sauce, I think you have to. But it's interesting to see ETR have them all the way up at the top there, even above Trey McBride in their rankings right now. So it's a good game environment with a good high total. It's pieces I want a part of, but I'm not comfortable this week getting crazy exploitative and overweight Taysom as I would have been in weeks past.
Yeah, I'm not taking Taysom at ADP because I'm taking him ahead of ADP.
Oh,
I love it.
No, man, this is such a sick game. Taysom's role, I just don't think this role that he has right now is like a flash in the pan at all. I mean, Derek Carr's wide receiver 1 is MVS. I mean, Taysom Hill is a huge part of this team and this offense, and they're projected to have a very high scoring affair against the Rams here, who I have like really no fear of. His touchdown in the pick'em right now, like rushing or receiving, is 1.07x. McBride's is 1.5. I mean, if you're gonna like deduce that and turn that into probabilities, I mean, you're talking a much higher probability of getting 6 more points out of your score for a tight end. I mean, he's the cake and eat it too, man. And I am kind of surprised that he goes behind Trey McBride right now. The pick'ems for Taysom Hill just look like he should be tight end 1, as we say, with a bullet here.
The thing I'm thinking through, and it makes sense that his touchdown prop is so high. I'm thinking through like floor versus ceiling, where to me it does feel kind of binary with Taysom in that you absolutely have to have him. Just runs away with this slate, or he scores 6 or 7 points, and there's so many other ways, with the scroll down tight ends, your Hunter Henrys and Zach Ertz's can match him. Or do you think he really has like an insane floor as well?
I think the floor is so good, dude. Like the thing is, it's like we have like, even when Trey McBride has a great game for Trey McBride is like 18 points. Mm-hmm. That's often like just like not a huge separator. And if we can get like 10 points from Taysom, sometimes that 8 points just like doesn't matter if you just like hit the nuts at these other spots. Like it's just like so rare for a tight end to like truly separate these days that like, even if you are like foregoing an early pick to get Taysom, maybe you're taking Taysom where there's a landmine that everybody else is taking a position player, and you're just like breaking even at worst. Like I just think the floor with tight end is so bad. Mm-hmm. And the ceiling is so like capped that like Taysom just is the best of both worlds, in my opinion.
Yep. Yeah. And I do think it's probably one of the weaker tight end slates we've seen. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is a week where not a lot of guys separate. And I don't even hate that, like if the weeks where you can win a tournament with 11 or 12 points from the tight end, those are kind of nice too, because it gives you a bunch of different paths. Whereas like you have the Jonnu or the Taysom week, where it's like no money if you don't have those guys. Let's kind of pivot then to scroll downs. I know John mentioned the Anthony Richardson. I was saying how much I loved a lot of these late QBs. I mean, once you get, past Stroud, I mean, so many of these guys, Nez was talking about love for this game with Stafford. I think the Darnold stuff looks good at home versus the Cardinals. Obviously you got Herbert with a nice team total. Drake May is in play. I even went as gross as mentioning Bryce Young on my stream earlier today. No one's clicking him, and it's a really good matchup. Hard to stack, really hard to know how to play him. But what else kind of jumps out to you guys as far as scroll downs here?
What if Adam Thielen had the David Moore game from last week?
We would have never heard the end of it from you.
What if?
You're still not, and it didn't even happen.
Directionally accurate. Yeah, no, I agree with most of what you just alluded to there, Pete. I probably won't do Bryce Young despite the film bros saying that he's playing considerably better. I did a Sam Darnold this morning. I did a Geno this morning. Kirk Cousins is kind of interesting, just dome game. We are respecters of Chargers defense around here, but just if you want to play game environment there coming out of the bye and you want to do like a skinny stack that nobody's getting to, like him and Pitts or him and Mooney, just for leverage purposes, absolutely, because the only time he's getting drafted is alongside Drake London. That's all I've ever seen. So yeah, but I think you kind of just nailed it with all those quarterback scrolls.
Nez, any you like here that we haven't mentioned yet?
I think Darnold is worthy of a scroll, right? He just kind of, I mean, what is it, back-to-back games now of 20 fantasy points against two, like what we would deem to be tough opponents, like passing in Chicago. Like we would have thought that, like, I mean, we still do. I think that's a tough ask. And he puts up 330 and 2 against Chicago. Gets Arizona, who like Arizona's had some wonky games, but like, hey man, if you're going to give me like very low owned Darnold, and even he's at the ADP here where like I'm okay. I'm not worried about like, oh, you can't stack them with JJ because anytime Darnold is taken, it's with JJ. But the ownership is so low that like even when you're right, you're competing against such a small fraction of the field that like I don't think you have to worry about that in BRs. But if you do want to get to Addison, I mean, go ahead and get to Addison. I mean, free 3, dude. He's been balling.
Well, and I think that the logic or that of, every J Jeff share is going to, be paired with Darnold is when people were really excited about Justin Jefferson, when he's the 101, 102, and like, he's dropping 30. Right now, that sentiment is just not there. So I think you'll probably see way more one-off Jefferson and being like, hey, can I get my 21 points from Jefferson and just like sneak out of here kind of thing, as opposed to like he goes nuke and Darnold is the optimal quarterback.
Yep, respect it for sure. There's two super gal brain scrolls here. Derek Carr for all the leverage in the world off of the Kamara and Taysom stuff, or if you want to go to that next bridge of pairing him with one of them two. I mean, they go every single draft and the quarterback goes completely undrafted in a game that has like a near 50 total. So there's that. Yeah. And then Trevor Lawrence skinnies. I mean, he's going to be under pressure all game long from one of the best defensive lines in football. I don't know, kind of irresponsible for them to be bringing him back off the injury like this in meaningless game conditions. But yeah, it ball out quickly. Him and Ingram as a break glass skinny stack, or I put Brian Thomas Jr. on the cover today just as a potential.
When I did my run through earlier, I flagged both BTJ and Ingram. And now that we're getting confirmation that Lawrence should be good, yeah, I don't hate it. I think BTJ definitely the better play as far as how he hits and how he wins with some of the downfield stuff. I like the Lawrence skinny idea with him a lot. Let's do running back here. I will scroll us down to, let's say, like past Aaron Jones. I think this gets us into the good scroll down territory. Who jumped out to you guys in this kind of 35 and lower range?
I mean, I'm going to throw out Brian Robinson Jr., man. If we don't get, I mean, we're not going to get Eckler, right? I think Eckler is already ruled out, or is he even practice? Yeah, DNP on Thursday. So that bodes very, very poorly for his availability. Got Brian Robinson limited, man. I know McNichols has had his, rotational role when Eckler was out, but I mean, against the Titans, like if he's the lone horse in that backfield, like the rushing for as far as rushing attempts goes, I like Brian Robinson quite a bit for his share of rushes that he should get here. I know people don't like taking players against the Titans. I just don't mind it.
I think Brian Robinson should be a big part of your early weekend draft plans, because even if we don't get him, Jeremy McNichols is going to project pretty well to the point where I think you feel pretty good about those swaps. Like McNichols having this entire backfield to himself, we already know they trust him around the goal line. And I think just in this offense here, in this game environment, which is kind of intriguing to me, I think McNichols is going to be a really strong swap. So I have no problem hammering B-Rob right now.
Yeah, good point.
John, what running backs down here stand out to you?
Honestly, it's a lot of contingent stuff. So like Spears full practice, but like if we weren't going to get Spears, I was going to take some of that Tony Pollard volume. Like Ramondre's a volume bro. If we got no Tank Bigsby, I was going to float Travis Etienne. I'm kind of just into that game environment a little bit right now. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Then the Braylon Allen stuff was going to be contingent upon Brees. Yeah, I think my favorite scrolls this week are wide receiver and quarterback, and these back end kind of just like you're hunting for volume down here and don't love it. You could do the Rashad White and get leverage off Bucky going every single draft. He found the end zone last week. I do think it was interesting that Sean Tucker got both the first two cracks at the goal line before either of them last week, and maybe that's not baked into how people are viewing Bucky because they're just looking at the box score. Yeah, I don't know. What about super far scroll? I can't even say it because we don't have Dog Bowl anymore. But for the 12 persons, Kaimani Vidal.
I do. I was gonna click it. I knew you were gonna say him.
He read you like a book, man. He was soul read there. He was on his way.
I already saw it too because I was doing the show with JM and we were talking about Gus Edwards and someone mentioned Vidal and I was like, there's people want Vidal to be a thing so bad.
They do. They do.
I will say the one I mentioned, and I'm curious Nez's Homer take on this. I feel like if there's this week's Bucky Irving, which is basically a guy in a timeshare who through efficiency and a slight workload bump can become one of the optimal clicks, it's Jaylen Warren. I mean, we saw him double up Najee in routes last week. They were trusting him in a lot of those key situations at the end of the game. We know he's explosive. We know he's efficient. Jaylen Warren, Nez, do you think he could get home here?
I do, dude. I really do. Just because I think that they're going to probably be playing from behind in this game against the Bengals. The Bengals offense is just so good. That I just, love my Steelers defense, but are they going to be able to stop them when they couldn't stop Jameis in the snow? I mean, it was trouble for them. And Burrow in the past too has just like ripped the Steelers to shreds. So I'd say that obviously because I think that Jaylen Warren needs the game environment, obviously, right? Like he needs to be in a trailing script. They need to be trying to play fast and aggressive. And we saw Jaylen Warren, do that against the Browns whenever they were in that exact type of script. And he looked damn good doing it. They gave him the goal line carry. He had some receiving work there. I like it. I really do. This game has the potential to really explode, but I think the Steelers need to be able to go blow for blow.
And I mentioned this in my Deposit Kingdom video last week, where even when I was talking about Bucky, and it requires a little IKB on the projection, and a lot of these other guys, the Pollards, the Brian Robinsons, like they're just going to project for more work. They're really strong scrolls week after week because of the ownership relative to the touch projection. But I do think if you are trying to get a little fancy with it, you want a lot of those factors working in your favor. Catching balls, efficient, can do big plays. And I think the big thing that stood out for me, and Nez mentioned it, was them giving him that goal line carry there in that game, because that's been the huge bugaboo for him. It's just like, there's no chance at a goal line carry. Well, now there's a chance at goal line carries. That's where you could start to get the Bucky type of game where he does it in all three facets between the 20s, catching, and some goal line work. So I'm not going to oversell that. I think he should just be a part of your deep scroll portfolio. Let's talk wide receivers. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Last one on running back that I can't get it on board with this week, but I've seen a couple people click it, is James Conner. I won't click James Conner this week. Just like 4 straight weeks of downward trajectory in terms of snap share. I mean, down in the 50s and 60s. Now Minnesota's been the last kind of like 5-6 weeks been the best rushing defense. They're also best in the NFL for the entirety of the season in rushing yards allowed per game, like only 70 something like that. I know there's a lot of noise in a stat like that, but yeah, man, they're starting to mix other guys in, and for good reason, and they blitz a shit ton here. So I think it's going to be like ball out quickly. This game plays through Kyler and Trey.
Yeah, I think it's a good call out. It is always a little scary, like, trying to fade some of those guys who do get good volume. But to your point, I mean, DeMarcado, Benson, like those splits are there, and that's going to be really hard in a tough matchup to overcome. And I agree. I'd rather play like the Pollard, the Ramondres in that same range. What are you guys seeing at wide receiver? I mentioned the Jets wide receivers earlier. Those really stood out to me. I will kind of scroll us right past Zay Flowers. Then you're in the 34s in later. Who jumps out to you guys?
Michael Pittman Jr.
Yep.
I mean, since he's come back, he took the week off. He probably should have gone on IR. He's slowly getting healthier. No downs. A-Rich back. They showed a rapport both in the limited sample last year and last week. 15 targets back-to-back weeks total, not in each game. That'd be insane. But yeah, I will be playing Michael Pittman Jr. And then I'll throw out Darnell Mooney, who I mentioned before as well. They're coming out of the bye, super concentrated offense. Chargers respect doors, but yeah, I'm mixing that in.
What about you, Nez?
Yeah, I find it really tough to get to some scrolls here, but the ones that I will name are Calvin Ridley, who has had just a pretty solid target share ever since Hopkins has left at Washington there. So I think that there should be some catch-up ball played there. So that's kind of the thesis behind that. And then I don't even know if this should count, but like Devontae Smith, he's not going to be, I don't know how often he's going to be a scroll, but like, I mean, the limited, he's taking part in practice. An obvious shootout spot here where you can take advantage against the Baltimore secondary. I mean, BR right now is still only 20% full, but who knows how much more Devontae Smith we can really see here. And I think that the rule of thumb for me with Devontae maybe bad process, but like not stacked, right? Because I think he's going to, if he is taken, how often will he be paired with Jalen Hurts? I would think a lot. So I think maybe give me some Devontae Smith without Jalen Hurts. And if he's who you need without Hurts, then I think you're separating in even a much larger way than just like, oh, cool, I hit Devontae Smith, but Jalen Hurts didn't get there and me, along with every other Devontae Smith drafter, had Jalen Hurts type of deal.
And I'll say too, very, very similar to the B-Rob. I know we talk about the Q tag and the swap stuff a lot around here, but I always think it's interesting to think through from a portfolio perspective, because you can't do 1-for-1 individual swaps. So you kind of have to think it through where you don't, if you could do individual swaps, right, you could take Devontae Smith in every draft right now and then just see, I'm going to set this up because I know the opportunity cost of what I'm pivoting to is good. But because you wouldn't want 100% of one swap, I do think, I think with B-Rob and Devontae right now, I would like them like 1 out of every 5 drafts. I want to be taking one of those guys and have the potential swap angle there for them, see what materializes throughout the rest of the weekend. But I think those Q tags should be a part of your draft plans right now.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Q tags, there's one that would have a decent impact on the upper echelon of the slate is the Noah Brown rule. And like we talked about it last week, how like Noah Brown's rule has bbe real. And he's out targeted Terry for like 4 straight weeks now or something like that. So, or over the last 4 weeks. Yeah, I don't know if that has any implementation on your guys' likability for Jaden Daniels at the top, or if you want to get to Terry more or whatever.
I mean, the only thing that I was kind of thinking about when Nez mentioned Calvin Ridley is I really like naked Jaden Daniels with Calvin Ridley. Because that's how that game gets sped up. And Calvin, the Commanders have been beatable on the back end as well. So if you are kind of struggling who to pair Jaden with, and you're actually worried about, hey, the Noah Brown thing, no one wants Ertz, it's just going to be all Terry McLaurin. It's like, well, what if it's a De'Ami Brown game? What if it's whatever, like that kind of play there. And the other thing about Terry, and go ahead.
I was going to say, I was holding my breath waiting for you to say Nick Westbrook-Akine.
Oh, God.
The way you set that up, I was oh, my God, is he going to say it?
No, I wasn't. But what does he have? 5 touchdowns in the past 6 games? It's something absurd.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Maybe we can save that for our pick'em ladders. Let's do tight end scrolls, and then we can do draft or 2. Kind of mentioned it, a much weaker tight end slate here. Let's scroll basically past Mark Andrews and kind of look at these names here. What do you guys like?
Sorry, I'm still stuck on wide receiver in my mind because I wanted to ask you guys one question. I always do this. I wanted to ask if anyone would touch MVS because every other piece of that game environment's getting drafted except for him. I wanted to add Brian Thomas Jr. to that previous list. And then I wanted to see if there was any love for Carolina pass catchers or for New England pass catchers.
I guess rapid fire. You start off MVS, right?
Yeah.
I think he's a yes. I think you can say he's the new Rashid Shaheed. I mean, I'm just gonna ride it. Ride it. Goal line stands only. High total. I like it. Carolina receivers. I really want to say yes. I mean, it's kind of hard to deny the improvements made from the Carolina side of things in a good spot against Tampa. I think they're going to be playing catch up. Or just going blow for blow. Yeah. So I like that. And then what was the third?
New England wide receivers.
Oh, no, I'd probably just do Hunter Henry. But I mean, these guys have good floors, but that's about it. I mean, shout out Pop Douglas, but
okay.
Yeah. I mentioned on because I like Leggett. I think he has kind of the best profile for he's kind of like the poor man's Brian Thomas as far as how he can get there. And I still think he has that big play in him. He's got the nice ADOT. The targets have been solid. I think he's at 5.5 targets average or receptions over the past 4 games. So to me, I could see him really blowing up here. John, are you ready to move on, or do you got the other wide receivers?
No, I think I got them all off my chest there. We can move on here. You guys know who I'm going to say right away, though, just because of my affinity for this game environment. And one of my slop it ups of the week is Evan Ingram.
Oh, I put Kyle Pitts there. I thought you threw me for a loop here.
We alluded to the Kyle Pitts as a contrarian skinny stack with Kirk Cousins, but I I'm buying the volume associated with Ingram, the splits with Lawrence without Christian Kirk on the field, yada, yada. I mean, he finds the end zone as frequently as Trey McDusk does at this point in time. So maybe it's nothing, but yeah.
I struggle with him. I think he does. It's a great matchup. I feel like I'd rather just slam a big pick him on his receptions higher than play him in BR. But yeah, I'll definitely have some Ingram this week. Nez, what do you like?
Yeah, Hunter Henry for sure. I'm a big fan of all these New England game environments. I'm just going to keep hitting them until they finally explode, which I mean is just like a hilarious thing to like hope for from a New England game environment. But I swear, man, one of these games they are going to go off. I keep targeting just because I think the thing that gets this game environment going is how bad the New England defense is. It's really not good. And I think that's what kind of gets things going here. And then Drake May has the ability, to kind of go blow for blow. So it's really like through Drake May, but I think Hunter Henry is the way to play it, even though we just see Austin Hooper continue to get work, which is like really frustrating. Yeah. But like, I'm going to keep doing the Hunter Henry to Drake May stack until I make money on it. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no. I like these two as well. The only other one that is my favorite down here is Will Dissly. We did just get the news too. He's fully off the injury report.
Wow.
He's had just a rock solid role lately. And if I want to even like IKB the projection a bit, I think they just lose J.K. Dobbins, QJ coming off of one of the worst games ever. How do you not look at this offense and say like Will Dissly needs to be our number 2, like behind Ladd and a huge part of our game plan here. So if this game does go up tempo in the dome, I think Dissly's a really strong scroll this week.
We had a really fun sliders one on Monday there with Len Keith, who won a dog bowl seat, and we laddered Derrick Henry all the way up to the top there.
I was tailing that one.
Yeah, and then the Will Dissly 7.5 catches, and he ended up with 4. So it was kind of a good fun sweat for one of those. The Mike Gesicki role is just playing into game environment, playing into pass volume, and just playing up to contrarian pivot off of the other 3 Bengals pieces going. Eric All's done for the season, and his role has been, very strong without Eric All there. That being said, all the route participation stuff directly overlaps with T. Higgins. And when T. Higgins has been on the field, he's basically mitigated Gesicki in the biggest way possible. And we're going to have T. Higgins this week. So it's not something I want to be overweight, but it is something that I want exposure to with my skinny stacks with Burrow.
I like that call, John. I wasn't really thinking about Gesicki at all. This is a really high total for the Bengals. The route participation has still been there. Just like obviously, like you said, when T. Higgins on the field, the targets just drop dramatically, but he's still running routes. And if you want to do the bro science thing, the Browns destroyed the Steelers with Jordan Akins like all game. It was they couldn't stop hitting the tight end just for 10 yards. Little bit of a different usage, I think, for Gesicki, because Gesicki is basically like a wide receiver. But I like the call, man. I really do.
They missed Njoku for the touchdown in the end zone there too.
Don't remind us.
Yeah.
The only other guy I'll mention, because John's too big of a coward to do it. I mean, want to play Kyle Pitts or the weeks, no one wants to click him. And 35.7, he's going to probably be like sub 10% drafted. Doesn't feel good, but again, like the home dome thing, and you want to talk about leverage angles. The stuff with Cousins, London's a strong play, but going to be drafted a ton. Like Pitts and Mooney won't, like Kirk skinnies with one of those 2 guys and seeing if they could get the 2 touchdown game or whatever. I think looks pretty strong.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Pete. The interesting thing that we've kind of all walked our way around the conversation, just like bring it full circle to the overview in the beginning, is doesn't this feel like flattest exposure week of the year outside of Taysom? Like like Nez made the concerted argument of like why you would get over on Taysom this week, right? We've no one's made a big push or stand on getting crazy over anyone else.
Remember my Jets stand? Might have been the craziest stand of the show.
That's true. That's true. One Jet in every lineup is That is a stand.
No, but I agree with what you're saying. And the other thing too, I think that's contributing to that is there's some good in-game environment, or I would say there's lots of good game environments, but there's none that are like, I absolutely have to have this game, or I want to be overloaded on this game. And there's also not like a team total that you want to be overloaded on. Without the Lions, without the Niners, you're not just like one Lion in every lineup, one Niner in every lineup. Like, so it does really lend itself to spreading it out.
Yeah, I did that one line in every lineup thing yesterday.
Yeah.
Not great. But this game, just in general, I know we normally don't go game by game. The Falcons are another team that, like, any game the Falcons are in, I want that game. I want the Falcons, and I want the other side of that game. I mean, Pitts and Disley are both just like I think are like, if I'm not doing Taysom, I think it's in that game environment.
I have to agree with you because the use of the pen in articulating your point. Oh, that was big time. That was like old school, like pardon my take back in the day. That was like, oh yeah, here we got this and we got this. And dude, that really drove it home for me. That worked.
I'm embarrassed.
All right. Let's talk a little small field stuff, and we'll hop into DK draft here. I do think, one of the things that corresponds with it being a flat exposure week, with there being like, man, if one of these game environments emerges as the game you need, as usual, I think like the double stack and the overstacking stuff in small field looks really good this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with you.
A lot of fun ways to do that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And cause you can lean into, no one's going to talk you off of Philly, Baltimore. That one has pretty massive potential, but then you can play like pretty sick leverage angle. Like you could do a Kirk Cousins double with London and Pitts and bring it back with Ladd, or you could do it with London and Mooney and bring it back with Disley. Like those kind of like game environment bets look really good to me, where you're also getting a pretty good ownership discount as well.
I like it.
Yeah, exactly. One of my favorite ways I've been doing it right now is with and it's a little chalky, but the Bucks, just like putting as many Bucks as I can in the lineup just feels very fun.
Yep. Yes. We kind of hit on this, but definitely I think all of us agree one of the strongest quarterback slates, and more so on the I guess top to bottom, but I'd say like QB 6 to 12 about as strong as it's been in a while.
The other thing that makes like QB 6 to 10 or 12 or whatever feel stronger is that you can poke holes in the front end more so. Like obviously we love the Burrow pass rate over expectation, but we know who he's going to be tethered to, and we know that the Steelers have given up way more touchdowns on the ground than through the air. So like there's a little push-pull there. The Hurts one is like, oh, it's always going to be stacked at the front end. So I think one of the dynamics of it feeling like a strong slate at quarterback is the fact that, those upper echelons, we can also poke holes in just in terms of building, not in terms of the plays themselves.
I see Roto Run snuck in here. So Nez, this is you and me. Who do you want to do? Brown, Puka, Kamara?
Between these guys, I'd take Brown.
Okay. I figured we would. I was going to like flip the board in homage with John, and then noticed he had betrayed us in the back, a real Judas.
You're on your own here, John. Good luck.
I'm going to take
John, figure it out.
I'm going to take the guy who's had double-digit targets in like every single game and scored 5 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks.
That gets out targeted by T. Higgins every time they're on the field together. That guy.
that guy. Yeah.
Don't you know it's cold?
Don't you know Joey Porter Jr.? JM told me that, and now every time I see Jamar Chase, I just see Joey Porter Jr. I don't even know who Joey Porter Jr. is, but apparently, it's not
son
great.
Of Joey Porter.
Yeah, that I was able to deduce.
Nice. It's crazy. Right. The Justin Jefferson conversation. Oh, you guys can have it right now. Okay, let's hear it.
Nez, do we want to see if we can push Hurts around, or do we just want to lock that up? What do you think?
I think we should lock up Jalen Hurts.
That's what I think.
In this field, like in main BR, like I think you try to push Hurts here. You only got 3 bullets, man. Like let's get the stack. Let's ensure it.
That's right. And we kept the We got the contest size, same as usual, 1,656 entrants, 2K up top, 10th place, 200 here, $10, 3 max. Get in there. And John, you ended up going, you went Kamara and Chase. What was the convo you wanted us to have about Jefferson?
Yeah, like just we've talked about how the coverages have been different for him this year. The double digit target games that were there every single year last year are just not now. Is it the week that we get overexposed and we buy back in like I tried to do last week? Or is it just like we have to accept the reality associated with Justin Jefferson right now is that he's very effing talented, but they double bracket and shade 2 guys his way every single time. And they kind of just scheme him out every single week. So he's not good for our fantasy game.
I mean, it's tough, man. It does seem like this could be a good Justin Jefferson week. I haven't gotten there yet. It could happen. It certainly could happen. I mean, dude, he has 1 game this season, and game environment's a big part of it. Sorry, I like Evans here, but
I like Evans a lot. Yeah, I was gonna say
love Taysom as well, obviously, but
yeah, the only other thing to consider with the Hurts and the smaller thing, if we want to leave a spot open for Goddard or Devontae Smith, would be the only other spot to think through, I think, with this game.
Just to put a bow on that thought, I mean, 1 game this season with double-digit targets for Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
It's nuts, man. I mean, he's great, but there's clearly an effort being done by opposing teams to not let him rack up yards. And right. I mean, and how can they really like debate that usage as a team? Like, oh, we got to get JJ the ball more. I mean, dude, they're 9-2. You know, it's like it's work. Like things are working. So it's tough for them to think that there needs to be a focus on that.
Nez, I know we're just ADPing here, but I do think there's a pretty big drop off from Chase Brown down to here.
I would like 27 touches of Chase Brown for sure.
Yeah, I know you're a respector of the Steelers, but the workload is so good.
But like the total speaks for itself. I mean, I think it's 25, 26 implied team total for Cincy. They're just rolling right now. Like I love my Steelers, but like Cincy's nuts right now.
And he could have even the Nick Chubb game, right? Where obviously he's way more explosive right now than Chubb, but like 2 goal line carries, even if you're at 50, 60 yards, you throw in a few passes and you're still completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
But what is your thought, Nez, on double stacking Hurts? Do you think that's something to do, or do you just play this as like the nuclear AJ Brown game and everyone else is left in his destruction?
You know, I would probably do Jonathan Taylor instead. Or if you want to scroll, we can scroll. I'm not like big on double stacking Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I think I would maybe do it with Goddard just being like, hey, the passing offense rolls, but I agree. I don't think you have to force it.
Yeah, I know we're really loving the top of the board here, but like we said, I mean, this slate is just like littered with great plays. It's hard for me to not take Jonathan Taylor in this spot, man.
We'll get a fun scroll here with the last pick, and we'll trust John to do something crazy. John, you want to have the only David Moore share in the Deposit Kingdom contest?
I wasn't thinking that crazy. I was looking at obviously I did the Brees thing, and then I was thinking about, the JSN and DK flipping, and then potentially doing like DK Geno here. But I think when Joe Burrow comes all the way back, I just do the Burrow with Chase thing, knowing that Jack on the end there has Higgins, and then I'll do a one-off scroll with this last one.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well, and this kind of goes back to what we were saying about Chase and AJ Brown, where in the main BR, when you're drafting these guys a decent bit, you definitely want to have some as one-off, some stacked. But I think in the small field stuff, when that stack is there for you at cost, it's hard to pass up on.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to be underweight Chase Brown this week, I think. And it's for the simple fact that during those games yesterday, I watched a good majority here. We're going to scroll the F down, take Brian Thomas, put our money where our mouth is. Yeah, during those games yesterday, the Canadian commercial market isn't as prevalent as the US one is for those games. So when you're watching football all day long, and you get the same commercials on loop over and over and over again. And Chase Brown was on my TV at nauseum yesterday for Advil commercials, talking about how sore his back was from playing football.
Oh,
So, yeah, so it's living rent free in my head right now. This subliminal messaging of the algorithms on my TV.
Jeez. Nez, we're on the clock. I put Henry in the queue. Anything else you'd want to do?
No, I think Henry's a pretty good scroll here. I mean,
in that game opposite JT.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. We gotta get a little unique here.
Yeah, we'll get a little unique here. So we did the Hurts to AJ Brown stack, Chase Brown and JT at running back, Mike Evans at wide receiver, and Hunter Henry here as I watch Noah Gray get overthrown by Patrick Mahomes on a would-be touchdown. I'm not mad. I'm just passing along the news. John, what was your team?
I ended up with a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase stack there. Alvin Kamara, Breece Hall, Brian Thomas Jr., and Trey McDust. I have a pitch for you guys. Since we are a little behind our normal schedule because we did some of the Thanksgiving recap and the pick'em, what if we let Nez cover 12-person and goal line stand tonight on the Nez Strip stream, and we dive into pick'ems? Does that sound like a good plan to you guys? Absolutely, yeah.
Nez, that's fair.
Are you stripping it up tonight?
We are no stripping for those uninitiated wondering. Is Nez really getting exclusive behind the paywall? No, it's we breathe easy, but yes, we are back in full force for the goal line stand. I feel like I really need to do my part for the goal line stand because the liquidity is just not the same for the dog bowl. So I think it's needed even more than ever. The bat signal is up for me.
That's a good point,
so for people who don't know, or if you're watching on my channel, so Nez does a weekly Friday night members only stream. What time is that going to be? 10 p.m. Eastern, Nez?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. 10 p.m. Eastern, Nez will fire up the no strip, fire up the stream, get some 12-person drafts filled, and we'll put the burden of 12-person strategy for this week on Nez. Although he already gave you a little sprinkle, and that's MBS, our generation's Rashid Shaheed. All right, let's spice it up, slop it up. We'll go through our usual kind of approach for building pick'ems. Let's start with some of our highest conviction plays to put in a core pick'em here.
I guess I'll start.
Yeah.
What if I told you guys there's a lower in the pick'em lobby? A lower that has hit every single game except one that this player's played. And this player's played every single week. I want to do Justin Herbert lower interceptions. Just one interception on the season.
Wow. Even money.
He
takes care of the ball.
Against the Falcons? Like, no pressure on my guy? Okay, sure. Like, I think Justin Herbert can handle his own.
You know what? Man, and do you remember his TD celebration the other night against the Ravens when he rushed it in and he ran down the sideline and he wouldn't let go of the ball? He didn't. It's because the guy protects the ball at all costs.
Come on, man. Do the math. Do the math, dude. You think this guy's throwing an interception? Okay. In the dome? Okay.
What do you like, John?
Give me 1 second here. I'm still sussing through something here. I was looking at game environment first. I got to find my favorite play.
All right. I'll do one. We talked about Anthony Richardson. I know that the reason we get excited about Anthony Richardson for fantasy is because of rushing and rushing touchdowns. But it was 177 when I looked at it earlier. It's up to 179. This is just like a laughably low line. And I know he doesn't have Josh Downs, but you think about the ways Richardson hits, the way New England gives up so many big plays. It was Cooper Kupp. It was Jalen Waddle. The way that Richardson can get there with just a few. He had 272 yards against the Jets. I just think the higher on his passing yards here looks really good to me. I know it takes a little bit of a leap of faith with how we think about him, but that number seems silly.
The Patriots, Pete, from week 4 on, are the worst team in dropback EPA per play.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a good one, Nez.
Love Anthony.
Hopefully,
Richardson.
yeah, and hopefully, did we get a practice update on Alec Pierce? I knew he had a Q tag there. I would definitely like Alec Pierce to be playing here.
Yeah, I wasn't keeping up with that, but I kind of like it regardless.
Yeah, I
DNP Thursday. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't love that. Hopefully he gets in a practice today. But yeah, they're gonna have success throwing the ball.
They don't have Ashton Doolin either.
AD Mitchell week, man.
Oh yeah, they got the alpha right there. Why are we sweating?
He's been there. He's been there the whole time.
You guys think I just randomly put Michael Pittman Jr. on the cover? Come on.
No, I do like Pittman this week.
Terry McLaurin, 4.5 receptions with a little boost.
5.5, yeah.
Not traditionally a volume guy. Decent game environment. Not a decent game environment either. But the Noah Brown banged up thing, the running backs banged up. Might not get either of the running backs. Thinking through it out loud. I'll float that one out. Another one, I like the Aaron Jones stuff. Aaron Jones receptions or Aaron Jones rush attempts both stood out to me. Yeah, I'm just throwing out feelers here, and you guys play it as you see fit. Another one, I said earlier that I wasn't in on James Conner this week. Some lowers on the James Conner rushing attempts or something of that magnitude I would be interested in as well. Yeah, that's kind of those were the ones when I was just jamming here and looking for something that I liked. Those were the ones standing out to me. Which of those are your favorite or any?
I like the McLaurin angle with Noah Brown banged up. Obviously, this is probably like one of our more volatile cores, just like looking at Richardson passing, McLaurin receptions. I also didn't mind the Conner lower matchup trend, but it is juiced down on it. I think it was like 0.9 or something on the lower. You guys like this for the core?
Yeah, I just want to see real quick. Conner rush attempts. No, I think I'd rather do Terry. With no Eckler there, I think you can probably project Terry for at least like an extra target, at a minimum. Yeah. I don't mind it. Tennessee, I don't think is as scary as people think. I'm into it.
All right, we're gonna lock this in. Go ahead, John.
There's one other angle to that same game environment to play, and it's play Jaden Daniels rushing. If you prefer it to the Terry, and you just go both running backs are out. He's getting healthier with the rib stuff. He hasn't been running as much in most recent memory, and you play higher on the rushing yards.
What's it at?
38.5.
38.5.
I think it was like 29 last week, and he smashed it.
I just feel like he needs to be pushed.
Okay. And you don't think Titans can do that?
Not exactly. Not exactly.
I like this Terry, John.
Maybe that's the wrong way
I think it's strong.
Okay. Sounds good. There's one last one that I'm
locking this in.
No.
We can put some in some. Yeah. Which spot?
If we play a game environment one of Rams Saints, I've seen some smart people talking about Derek Carr hires on pass attempts.
Okay. Yeah, let's do a couple game environment ones. You want to do Rams Saints?
One that stands out to me. Yeah. What else? What do you guys think for slop it up? You guys know that I really like getting ahead of Texans Jags as well, but I think that'll be a little more contrarian than
Texans
most people.
Jags, and then I do think it'd be fun to do a Falcons Chargers one. That game just feels like it would be a good one for a 5-legger.
Let's start there then, because both of you guys seemed pretty enthused by that one.
Yeah.
Do you want to, Nez? You want to just use the no INT as part of this?
I think so. I mean, I was
Yeah.
pretty surprised that was just like an even multiplier.
Yeah.
And then honestly, like, I mean, just to keep it pretty simple, I like Kirk Cousins higher, 239.5 passing yards. I think that's just like, I like that number a lot. I think it fits the narrative pretty easily. You know, we do have to kind of dance around it a little bit because of like, you know, trying to limit the docks that we get on this. But like, man, that's about as good of a pick 'em in this game environment that we have, sans Herbert picks.
Yeah. And then I'll go ahead and say I'd love to toss in the Disley 4.5 receptions, higher getting plus money.
And yeah, we shouldn't get a dock on that just because we have the Herbert pick.
But right, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's up to 6.54.
Okay. I mean, I think Bijan, right? Go ahead, John. I'm cooking right now.
No, you're cooking. I don't want to be the guy to stop you cooking. Let him cook. Keep going with the Bijan stuff. What do you like?
Yeah, Bijan. I mean, like, pick your favorites here. I don't see. Do you have scrimmage yards? Okay, you do have scrimmage yards. 106.5 is a lot, but the Algier role is like non-existent right now. Like, they just completely phased him out, and I've started leaning on Bijan ultra heavy here. These
I kind of like the receiving yards.
Okay. I'm totally fine playing it through receiving yards.
You know, if the thought is, you know, Chargers pretty good interior run D, they get Bijan out in space a little bit more. I guess the only concern is, are we going to get a big dock on?
It's kind of substantial. I mean, but it's 8x.
Is there another one of these angles?
The way you don't get docked is you pick your least favorite pass catcher on Atlanta and take the lower alongside Kirk Cousins higher.
Yeah.
It's thin. It's obviously thin, and you thread a needle a little bit, but it's like if you want this to funnel, and then you funnel through everyone but Ray McLeod or something like that, you know?
What about, I mean, receptions? 5's a big number. He did that against Dallas, but was under against New Orleans and Denver. That would be the other way where we wouldn't get a dock and plus money.
Yeah, I mean, I would be fine playing receptions. Can he get 5? I do think he can get 5. It just feels like a big number when you look at the game logs. But like,
yeah.
How about Bijan longest reception?
Do you have any
get docked on something like?
I doubt it.
Mm-mm.
No,
I like that.
Yeah, that way we just need the one.
Yeah, sure. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah,
I think Bijan definitely fits as the type of person that can get a higher on a longest touch. So sign me up.
AOC cooking right now, by the way.
Goddamn right.
Fuck.
All right, so let's.
I guess it's good for our pick'ems. It's good for our
pick'ems. What is it not good for you, John?
Oh, just for the teams that I built before stream.
Oh man.
On the great gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, by cooking, I mean he had like 2 decent throws, but that's what we get excited about. All right, we need one more here to send this one to Valhalla.
Okay, here's. I just want to throw this out there. This is not something that I think we need to play, but like a QJ lower. I don't know. I mean, is he in the circle of trust still? Can we put a lower 40.5 receiving yards on QJ? I know it doesn't necessarily jive with what we got going on here. Does that actually?
What's that?
Okay, never mind. Sorry, I apologize. I thought I saw 15x when you added that, and I was like trying to do the math as far as what was getting there.
I was just seeing like the no touchdown. You're getting juiced on the other. Like, so it would be like a 15x versus the 21 would just be to play that. Yards are always scary with him just because if he does hit, it's like probably a big play.
You're right.
But I respect it. Nez, is there anything in the kicker lab here? Dome game? I feel like the kicker
Cameron the kicker? Is that what they call him?
Are the Chargers scoring three touchdowns this week?
I mean, yeah, right? Almost certainly. What's their implied total here?
Isn't it like 24.25 or something?
Yeah, that's 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
The math literally says
you needed to tap into that for me.
That gets us a 21.42. Do we like this?
I love it.
John?
What breaks it for us?
No, I'm good with it. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me.
It's a money glitch, infinite money glitch. All right, locking that in. The Chargers Falcons game stack. Dropping this in the private chat. Dropping it in the public chat. Nick is on board with Decker Week. There we go. All right, we locked that in. All right, which game do we want to head to next?
I think Saints Rams might be hard to build because it's pretty concentrated, and if you don't run it through Taysom, it might get a little ugly. But we can try. If not, I would vote for the Jags and Texans game.
Jags Texans is a classic slop it up game for us to have fun with here.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start us, John?
Probably with the Brian Thomas Jr. stuff, but I'm pulling it up on my end here.
And the thing I would say too, like maybe if it is we don't even have to do a full 5 leg, but we get some slides going with some of these big play guys.
Yeah. Good call.
Evan Ingram reception standout. Brian Thomas.
Did they finally post that? I always love those.
Nope. I just refreshed and it's not there.
Oh, we don't have any
yardage.
Evan Ingram?
Yardage. Man, Travis Etienne, 31.5 rushing yards, down so effing bad.
That's
holy man.
That's too bad, isn't it? That's just wow.
Wow.
This is a tough game for me just because Texans have been just one of the toughest defenses against the pass. My arbitrary endpoint is week 4, but since week 4, man, they are neck and neck with the Lions as far as being a strong pass defense. But I think the concentration on the Jags team is like we can still kind of get there, right? Like I think that can still hold true. I think Brian Thomas, do we have receptions for Brian Thomas Jr.?
I only see receiving yards.
Mm-hmm.
I like sliding his yards.
Okay, how far should we take this? 79,
bro. Boom.
Who's
either 79 or 89?
Yeah, I think 79 is probably my limit on BTJ.
I think you correspond it with a Lawrence slide of some.
Let's see where we can take this.
Probably 239 gets you up to a 1.43.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, I don't want to just throw cold water here, Nez, but they played the Packers without Love, the Texans passing defense. I think they have a really good pass rush, but they played Patriots. I don't remember who was quarterback that week, but then no Love, Colts backup quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, Cooper Rush.
We're already on board, John. We're building a Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas stack. You don't have to convince us.
Okay.
What number do you like on the Lawrence slide? Where's too much?
I like 239, but go ahead, John.
Yeah.
I think you either slide. I don't think you slide receiving yards and passing yards. I think you slide passing yards and touchdown because they won't correlate well enough. You won't get full value out of the slide, will you?
Well, let's see. Let me just put one in here. If we just do Nico TD on the bring back or whatever. Yeah. So
it's extra 4.
Yeah. Versus if you like, what's the Brian Thomas TD?
It's got to be juicy.
1.43. So that's similar because the 1.6 was the slide. So it is a pretty big dock. Like if you just do the TD there. The other thing I wonder if it's not quite as is if you did like the longest reception. I mean, 39 and a half is pretty big.
It is big.
But if you do that, you're not getting quite the dock either. Like if you did 29 and a half.
I think
So
I just do touchdown, I think, at this point.
Touchdown, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I assume we all like Nico TD at plus money. That doesn't feel like it should be a thing.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, like for a 10x man on 3 picks, that's kind of talking my language a little bit.
Yeah, 13-7 there.
13-7 on
rather
Nico, BT, Tutties, and then a slight Lawrence slide to 239 and a half.
Yeah, just a baby slide.
Yeah, baby slide. Yeah.
Hey, threw 308 against Green Bay last time we saw him.
Come on.
All right. Let's lock this in.
I like it.
Nez, I was kind of surprised. I was kind of surprised to hear you doing the no strip tonight because I pegged you for Thanksgiving's done yesterday. Christmas starts today, guy. Like I thought you'd be going Christmas tree tonight.
Oh, bro, we went Christmas tree earlier in the week.
Oh, already you beat Thanksgiving with the tree?
Dude, they're the same thing. They're the same season. Like you can have the Christmas stuff up and celebrate Thanksgiving. It's all the welcoming of cozy season. And I mean, dude, sorry for setting up my house for like an immaculate Christmas vibe. I mean, the lights are up. It's perfect.
Let him cook.
I respect it.
Let him cook.
I respect it. I wasn't trolling at all. I just pegged you. My soul read on you was that you were going to be that guy.
No, because you're the guy that puts Christmas tree up on like December 20th. So I know that much. You're
I am that guy.
I need the season.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Tyler, for the super chat. Big Saint Nick. Energy pick'ems only. We got Smitch becoming a YouTube member. Yes, Chad, we already covered this. Nez is doing the no strip stream tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, and talking goal line stand, 12-person strategy. I say we do a game one. Let's do the Colts Patriots because there's a few different angles I like in that one.
And just like lock in Anthony Richardson passing yards to start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
John, do you want to lock in something with Pittman? I mean, 4.5 receptions seems with plus money seems very nice.
Yep. I fully agree with you there. I like that a lot.
I want to get your guys's. So on the one I did earlier today, I took Ramondre 13.5 rushing attempts. I also always think scrimmage yards are in play with him, but anything do you guys have a lean on which way? Because I do like the Ramondre stuff.
I did too, and then maybe it was some fake news. Davis told me that Gibson ended up like usurping him in the middle of the game last week.
I saw people talking about that too. I also think it was like a brutal matchup for them. They were getting their dicks kicked in, and to me, I saw that like way more as like a game flow aberration than like Ramondre getting benched. But maybe that's me being stubborn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
First time since week 7 that Ramondre had been below 50% of snaps. They basically ended up playing that. Yeah, that might just be like they're getting smoked. We need to switch something, and we're not switching the quarterback. I tend to agree with you there, Pete.
If we don't like it, the other thing on New England too. I mean, I think we're all in on the Hunter Henry stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's a bummer we don't have receptions up here. The Colts, they've been a top 4. The thing about the Colts, so they're a top 4 fantasy boost for opposing running backs and a top 4 fantasy boost for opposing tight ends as well.
Wow.
So they give it up both ways there.
I have receptions for Hunter Henry. I'm not sure.
Oh, you do? Let me refresh. What do you have at that? Okay.
Sometimes you just got to give them a little nudge.
Where Anthony Richardson keeps climbing. Anthony Richardson's climbed 2 yards since we've been talking about him.
It's been pinging around because it was like at 177. Then when we did it, it was 178. Then we looked at it, it was 176.
Where there's like two whales hitting the highs, hitting the lows, and they keep adjusting back and forth. Yeah.
Okay, I have 4 in right here that got us to 9-4. Not the sexiest multiplier in the world, but the Pittman hires with the boost, the Anthony Richardson, the Hunter Henry, and Demario Douglas 35.5. What do you guys think about Demario Douglas?
I like it, man. I think he's got I think this is a pretty good spot. He's hit this number like by far, like in his last 3 games. That hasn't even been a sweat.
Can we slide it?
There we go.
Permission to slide. Just
permission to slide, Your Honor, to 149.5 to get that up to a 1.45.
Yeah.
Or what? Because let me just see the difference here. I want to make sure I'm not picking up pennies in the middle of the highway.
I've never heard that phrase before. I like that. The other one that just came up, they're refreshing right now on the back end, is Keyshawn Boutte came up as well. I mean, I'm just looking at his route participation and stuff like this, man. He's been cooking.
Yeah. The other thing that this could maybe use is a tutty, or like Drake May too, I think could help round this out.
Right.
Mm-hmm. An interesting thing to do with May, I wonder, like in avoid docs, is like if Drake May is just cooking in general, right? I think it helps. Yep. So I think doing something around the rushing, potentially maybe rushing yards. I mean, I think rushing TD is a little crazy, but just like a rushing yards, and like the fact that he's doing well, helping them stay on the field is good.
Rushing yards gets us up to close to a 20x here.
Oh, I got mine at 27. What did I do differently? Oh,
did you have to?
I boosted the Demario Douglas.
Yeah.
This is what slide do you like better? Because I also think we could make the case for Pittman. I mean, Pittman going 1 extra catch for a 1.5. I kind of like that.
Yeah, that's a better.
Okay,
slide.
so then we keep Douglas at his lowly 39 or
lowly, yeah.
Okay,
and then that gets us up to a 27x.
Oh, you guys have him at 39. Take him back down to 35.
Oh, you're right.
Because you're only getting a 0 point whatever for those extra couple yards. It's not worth it.
Yes. Yeah. So 25.75x. I like this one.
Yep.
All right. Let's lock that in.
Pittman 5.5 gets you to 25. I like this one.
That might be one of the best ones on the board.
Man, it might be worth building another core one with that one.
Let's build another core with that and Ingram receptions. Did they put that up?
I'll check. No, just longest reception, receiving yards, and touchdown. And he's never scored a touchdown before, so don't fact check me. But he's never ever scored a touchdown.
Allergic.
Yeah.
Who's more allergic to the end zone for real though? Him or Trey McBride? Holy.
Trey has an EpiPen if he gets too close to the goal line. All right, we redoing the core or what's?
Well, we were just gonna take a gander here.
Sure.
Could also do it with Jaden Daniels rushing.
Oh yeah, because we didn't get there in that other one, right?
How about Jaden Daniels rushing, Pittman boost, and Derek Carr pass attempts?
Sure.
I'll play that.
I'm not gonna be happy about it, but I'll play it.
Do you like the pass attempts more than the completions?
I don't know.
I'm sorry for asking. Sorry.
I'm just recycling the knowledge of smarter people than me.
I don't know.
Yeah. What is what everybody's on over 29.5 pass attempts?
People like it.
All right. All right, we'll lock this in.
Whoa.
This is core part 2.
Here we go.
Redux.
Yes, sorry, Nick. Let me. I'm behind on posting the New England Indy. Let me make sure I drop that in here as well. There we go. And I have just the full thing here in the chat or in the private chat. All right. Let's wrap up with one or two more with some fun slides. Here. I do think one that I was about to think about when you were talking about Jaden Daniels, Calvin Ridley. Just knowing with him potentially getting loose for a couple big plays here, like taking him over 100 yards receiving. Oops. Could be fun.
Nice.
Or maybe do we like longest reception better?
How long is longest reception? Sorry, I'm putting in this last
24
one.
point
for longest.
Oh, wow.
24 and a half
versus. Yeah, what do you like more? Because it's basically the exact same odds, longest reception over 39 and a half, or just getting to 100 yards.
Probably longest.
Let's do it.
All right, let it rip.
They're going to be slinging it.
Do you want to correlate it with something with like Daniels or McLaurin, or slide elsewhere?
Yeah, I mean, we could reuse that. No, go ahead.
I was going to suggest Justin Jefferson slide. I mean, like we keep talking about like if he does explode, like I think we can probably take advantage of that with some of these sliders here. Even if it's just like it doesn't even have to go too far to get like 110 yards is like 1.6x. Like that's pretty nice, man. I don't think anybody would bat an eye if we see Justin Jefferson go for 110.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that one. We could just stick with some of the plays we like. We could put the Pittman 5.5 receptions as the third one in here.
Yeah, or McLaurin if you want game correlation.
That's true. McLaurin too. I mean, a guy of able to slide on. I mean, what are the stats on when McLaurin catches these balls? I mean, I feel like they're over 40 yards every goddamn time.
No doubt. It feels that way.
I mean, that's a 65x. That makes me feel things.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the move.
This makes me feel things. Calvin Ridley and Terry McLaurin catch bombs. Justin Jefferson reverts back to 2023 Jefferson, and we all take a 60xer to the bank. These multipliers are adjusting in real time. Now it's back to 63.
Oh, we gotta go.
Yeah.
All right.
They're about to put you in a new champions pod.
I was about to say, yeah, that's our music.
All right.
That's fun. Man.
I say we do one more, and it does have to involve Kyle Pitts TD.
Let's do our sons. Let's throw McBride in there. And even if we don't want to do touchdown, I like Trey McBride, 79.5 receiving yards is 1.6x. Or or touchdown. Just screw it. We could just go full tutty.
I feel like that should be like it should be like a 1.69x. I mean the 1.45. I mean, hang on. Let me see. What is Pitts?
Pete, can you drop the previous link, please?
Thank you. Sorry, guys. I'm slacking on.
We're getting ahead of ourselves here, talking about McBride and Pitts here.
Just got excited.
The other one that I couldn't believe, thinking about our sons, like Mike Evans. I know he didn't get there last week, but you're giving me 1.2 in this matchup against Carolina with fucking grown ass man Mike Evans.
Are we serious? Is that real? Oh my god.
Dead serious.
Wow. I mean, yeah.
What's that bring us to with those three?
Gets us to an 18x, which feels fine, but it doesn't make me feel the things deep inside me that I like to feel when I build this.
All right, how do we get Pete feeling things, John? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's so gross. I was gonna say Will Disley.
Disley Tutty?
Will Dissly starts to make a move a little bit.
Oh boy.
Could also go double Taysom.
I can't do 2 Taysom. Go Noah Gray. Go. Noah Gray cooking.
There we go.
We need him to cook in quantity.
I know shit.
It's okay. That bodes well. That bodes well.
Yeah, so the Disley Tutty puts us at a 55x.
Is that going to do it for you?
It's close. I need to like literally remember. I need to see the board. I need to see the games.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you who's scoring a touchdown.
Okay.
Okay, here. This is a good exercise here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm bringing up the unabated here. Okay, we got Texans and Jags.
Texans, Jags. I'm gonna guess that they like the value on a Dell or Schultz TD.
Okay. Chargers, Falcons.
Am I doing the right game? Guessing what they show value as?
He's just going down the board for you.
I'm going down the board so we can find one that we all agree on and like.
Well, can I just type one here and you can gasp and you can shriek? I just want to see.
Okay.
Oh.
I kind of wish it was better odds. I was hoping to see a 2-pluser there for Xavier Legette for our audio listeners. That doesn't quite do it for me on Legette. What was the next game you were asking me for, John?
Well, we kind of covered Chargers and Falcons already with these picks.
Yeah.
There's Steelers and Bengals. I don't have a good lean on that one unless you wanted to go
What's
the Warren
Warren
narrative. Yeah, there you go.
Got to be good. 1-7?
159. Need a little more from you.
You don't hit the gas.
Trying to think. We haven't done anything with Jets and Seahawks.
What are our Jets wide receivers looking like here? They're giving us a 1.4 on Devontae Adams.
Man,
he owes us one.
Does he ever? He owes us more than one.
He owes us one.
I feel like what we're looking for is like a 2x TD. I can tell like that's what we're trying to triangulate is a good 2x value.
Yeah, the thing that's tough is like the 2x's. Like for example, I think like John Mechie is like 2x to score a touchdown. Like it's few and far between.
It is those. Yeah. Why aren't you going to give us the 2x or Underdog? We haven't looked at like Eagles Ravens or is Goddard have anything good?
Okay.
I
mean, I know Devontae Smith's back, but you can throw on Baltimore.
Hamstrings, the most the 101 of aggravated in real time injuries.
That gets us up to a 70.5x
for 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that's all we need. I mean, 4 touchdowns, 1 touchdown per grown man.
That's right.
Surely.
All right. I say we lock it in. Is that my guy Noah Gray? No, his doppelganger, Travis Kelce.
That's where it is. Just
the Travis Kelce last week of the Eras tour narrative was in play today.
Oh,
really?
I
didn't
think that tour was ever going to end.
I know what the Eras tour is. I know what a narrative is. I'm failing to see why the last week of his girlfriend's concert series would compel him to play better or manufacture more targets for him.
Because he's about to finally get to have the sex again.
You think there's no sex when she's on tour? All right, I dropped that touchdown in there. I feel like we did good here. Chip was asking about hoops. I would love nothing more would make me happy than for me to be able to drop off right now and draft teams while you guys talk about hoops. So are you guys doing any hoop stuff today?
I will not be. Yeah, I'm not well versed in what's going on with the hoops today. I knew I couldn't play all the way till lock and be ready with the news. So I'm taking a step back today. So I'm out on the hoops today.
Yeah, I don't have
feel like you're retiring.
I know. Yeah, I'm kind of struggling with my lean on the hoop stuff today. I mean, I'm still firing. Don't get me wrong, but I don't have like great conviction right now, other than just like get out of here. Other than Cade, I like Cade Cunningham. He's coming back off injury today. Should be back against the Pistons. That's my son. So I'm gonna draft a whole bunch of Cade today.
Let me ask you one hoops question. From when I was looking at the slate, tell me which of the Trailblazers I need to click in the 6th round, because there's a bunch of them.
I think Simons, if I had to pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I mean Ayton, but he's not. He's I don't think he fits that bill.
No, yeah, he's like ADP 28 or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 27.
All right. Basically figure it out on your own is what we're trying to
just
tell you.
Draft the best players.
Just draft the best plays. I love Friday Night Hoops though. That's one of the best sweats. You get the no strip stream going. You watch your winnings go to 0. Nothing's better.
Not unless you're
appreciate you guys. Oh, go ahead, John.
Can you share that last one in the private chat?
Yes. Sorry, I keep forgetting here. I'm gonna paste this right now in the Badge Bros channel in the Discord. I just dropped the entire card from this show. And if you guys want to tail us there. So yeah, no strip stream, 10 p.m. Eastern. I'll have After Dark tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm thinking about rolling solo. My guest hasn't gotten back to me. So if they don't, I will just roll solo there, and then we'll have the cram on Sunday morning. No Deposit Kingdom video this week, but I did do a stream earlier for YouTube members on my channel if you want to circle back to that. Anything else that you guys want to mention here before we get out of here?
No, I'll see you in the lobbies though, and best of luck, guys.
Yeah, best of luck. And yeah, also, yeah, I saw some nice messages in the Discord yesterday for Thanksgiving. People feeling thankful. Just want to reciprocate that and say we are all thankful for you guys and in this community. And hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you guys next time on Off and On the Clock. Peace.